Heute habe ich was Besonderes für euch. Über meine Partnerschaft mit The Sports Museum, da werde ich noch separat berichten, was da dahinter steckt. Aber auf jeden Fall, ich befinde mich heute in München und bin bei einem Event eingeladen von MicroStrategy. Und hey, Uptrend kommt natürlich an alle ran.
Challenge accepted.
Und deswegen haben wir uns einfach mal den CEO, ja, richtig gehört, den CEO von MicroStrategy, du weißt ja, Bitcoin und Co., ins Interview geholt. Und was er erzählt und was so seine Vision von Krypto ist und alles, was so in der Zukunft passiert, das schauen wir uns jetzt gemeinsam an. Auf unserem Kanal findest du spannende neue Projekte, du findest News zur aktuellen Marktlage und die faktenbasierte Analyse von Scams. Wenn dich die Themen interessieren, dann lass auf jeden Fall schon mal ein Abo da und jetzt starten wir rein. Thank you for your time. And my first question also for our community, can you introduce briefly yourself in a short words?
Yeah, well, thank you for the time too. And brief introduction, my name is Phong Le. I'm the CEO of MicroStrategy. I've been with the company for about 8 years, and I've been CEO for a little bit over 1 year.
I think a lot of our subscribers, they know MicroStrategy, and I think they know what will be my first question. Let's talk about Bitcoin. What do you think? We are in bear market, but what do you think what will happen in the future? The big question who has every person at this time.
Yeah, so as many know, MicroStrategy has two strategies. One is what we've been doing for over 30 years now, which is building great enterprise analytics software and build a growing organization, growing revenues and profitably too. So, and our other strategy is to buy and hold Bitcoin. And we've been doing that since 2020. We think about Bitcoin long term, right? 5, 10 years. And if you look at our performance over the last 3 years, MicroStrategy as an asset class has outperformed other major asset classes, whether that be gold or silver or bonds or big tech stocks, S&P 500, NASDAQ. We've outperformed all of those, and Bitcoin has outperformed all of those. In fact, if you were to have held MicroStrategy since we entered into Bitcoin, which was August of 2020, until now, September of 2023, your returns would have been north of 250%. In fact, even more so than the underlying Bitcoin below it. Whether we're in a bear or bull market, I don't think of things in sort of right now or 3 months. We think of things in a year, 5 years, 10 years. I think the long-term prospects for Bitcoin are still very strong, and all the reasons we got into Bitcoin in 2020 still stand. We think it's a superior asset class. We think it's built on superior technology. And we think there's nothing really that's close to or like it out there. There's scarcity value associated with it, blockchain technology, the cryptography, the fact that it's fully decentralized. To your question, short term, right? Everyone wants to know what's going to happen short term. I do think until there is clarity in terms of interest rate and inflation in the global markets, until there is clarity in terms of regulation, especially in the US, things will continue to be volatile and quite hard to predict, right? Now, I do think there's some real catalysts that will come out in the next 6 months, maybe 12 months, right? One is we will get some more regulatory clarity from the SEC as it relates to a Bitcoin ETF. Hopefully, we'll have more regulatory clarity with lawmakers in the US as to Bitcoin, other asset classes. And as you know, there's already quite a bit of legislation and litigation happening in those areas. I think the second thing is the FASB, which is the Accounting Standards Board in the US. Has said they're pretty close to final accounting regulations and clarity there, making sure that Bitcoin can be recognized at fair market value. Yeah. And I think the third piece is the Bitcoin halving. That'll happen in the first half of next year. I think those kinds of pieces will be very positive catalysts for Bitcoin, and hopefully that'll take us out of this perceived bear market that we're in.
You're bullish, I think so.
I'm always bullish about Bitcoin.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think too. There will happen a lot, but I think maybe there is some darkness for this DeFi space, but on the other side, you said it like, hey, it's the full decentralization, and so much people don't know it, like, hey, Bitcoin only digital. No, it's decentralization, and this is the only asset. No one can ever do something, and I think this is so much interesting. Next question from my side, also crypto scene, but more this thing with NFTs, tokenization. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So first of all, as you know, MicroStrategy is very focused on Bitcoin, right? And so far, we've put it on our balance sheet, and we buy and hold Bitcoin. I do think there are real applications for Bitcoin in the Lightning Network beyond just sort of the underlying asset itself, right? We announced this year at our MicroStrategy World in May that we're doing development on the Lightning Network, right? As a layer 2 network on top of Bitcoin, it can really create some real applications based off of the underlying blockchain technology and the cryptography and the decentralized nature of what Bitcoin is. So in that space, we're playing with what we call Lightning rewards, right? The ability to provide individuals micropayments in Satoshis for work that they're doing, right? And so that's sort of a next layer application of Bitcoin that we're working on. And then beyond that, we're also working on something that we call right now the orange check service. So think about now Bitcoin and the underlying blockchain technology and being able to give people digital identifiers, right, across the world, and then also to securely authenticate things that people have sent, right? This has been an age-old problem, and if you think about authentication of individuals, it's primarily owned by different applications right now. So think about a blue check on Twitter, now X, right? That's a good example. And you have those types of things in Instagram and TikTok and other places. But what people don't have is an ability to take that identification, right, and across different platforms. You know, there's different large enterprise software companies, Microsoft, Google, and others, Apple, who provide that form of authentication. But is there one that can be fully decentralized? Right? And so we believe that there's a place there. We're working on some development in what we call an orange check service. So I know that's not exactly answering your question about NFTs and tokens, which takes us a little far afield from our focus on Bitcoin. But we do think that there are, I would say, similar applications and analogies of things that we're working on. And I think in all of these cases, if we can create more value to the Bitcoin network, right, and the Bitcoin technology, then ultimately you end up creating more value in the underlying Bitcoin asset too.
Yeah. Next question. We saw it today at the conference. It's really incredible, this thing with AI. It's a huge market. Can you say some words about this new product you have? It's crazy.
Yeah, we're launching on September 28th, MicroStrategy AI, generally available to the public in the MicroStrategy cloud. And the big challenge with AI over the last decade has been twofold. One is AI that can really be understood and used by individuals, right? And generative AI, ChatGPT and other like capabilities has completely changed the space. Right, so taking AI out to the masses, and the masses aren't just individuals, but to enterprises. Right, most enterprises have to build their own AI capabilities, primarily in the machine learning world. But now with these new LLMs out there, enterprises can really take advantage of AI, which is awesome. The piece that's missing on top of that is, what do you feed the AI models with in terms of enterprise data? Right? Right now, we know that if you feed LLMs with bad data, you get bad answers. And in fact, if you feed them even with okay unstructured data, you still don't get necessarily good answers. So what do you need? You need structured data combined with unstructured data that's well described in a semantic layer, feeding the AI models. Well, the nice thing with MicroStrategy is we have that. We have the semantic layer, which provides people the ability to take structured data, and now we're adding the ability to add unstructured data there to feed to an AI model. That's problem one that we're solving. Problem two is, once you have your Gen AI model, what do you do with it, right? You need to create applications within an enterprise, whether it be ability to build your own bot, whether it be infusing within a dashboard or a document or your website, letting your end users, your partners, your customers use AI. We've been doing that for the last 20 years, right? We allow our enterprise customers to build applications out to those constituents. Gen AI solves this problem of AI to the masses. We solve the problem of making sure that you can train the model well, right? Feed it with the right information, right? And we solve the problem of how do you feed that out to the enterprises. So we're really excited. This is, in my opinion, besides Bitcoin, right, our biggest innovation in the last 3 decades of the company.
Yeah, I think too. Last question from my side. We talked about the sports museum and the idea, our big vision behind it. What do you think about it?
So this idea that you're going to take technology, right? We'll call it blockchain technology, right? And the idea that you're going to take things that people really care a lot about. Everybody loves sports. I love sports, right? And give people access to that digitally. I think the combination of those things has a lot of potential, right? Whether it be giving people access to historical memorabilia, or current events, or digitized versions of moments of athletes. I think it's great, and how this space is going to play out is uncertain over the next 5 to 10 years. But I know there will be a space for the digital moments, right, that sports provides, and absolutely the underlying technology is going to be based off of Bitcoin and blockchain. So I think you guys are in a very, very cool space, and now you can hopefully combine MicroStrategy and some of the things that we're doing, Lightning and the Orange Check and AI. You put all these things together, and I think it's going to be great for yourselves, but also great for consumers and great for the ecosystem.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. It was really nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah.